SABC chairperson of the board resigns, and stricter gun laws would drastically lower shooting incidents in the country. With your news bulletin, I am Busi Mtandi. The SABC board has been plunged into a new crisis with the resignation of chairperson Ben Ngubane and his deputy Tamika Plaiki. The resignations come as Communications Minister Diana Pule appeals for the board to resolve its internal disagreements. The two are said to have resigned over the weekend. The present board was appointed in 2010. Department of Communications spokesperson Siya Qoza says the president has to decide whether to accept the resignations or not.
Minister Pule has been quite concerned about the going-ons at the board of the SABC. Only last week, she asked the board to look into how they're going to resolve the disunity amongst themselves, and has also asked Parliament to look into the causes of the disunity within the SABC board. In terms of the process, will depend on what the president says, and what happens to the SABC board will basically be determined by whether the president accepts or declines the resignations.
The removal of the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro Executive Mayor Zanuxolo Wayile by the ANC has not come as a surprise to the opposition parties, who think that it's going to bring stability to the troubled metro. Wayile and his deputy Nancy Sihlwayi were given their marching orders by the party's top six at James Calata House in King Williamstown yesterday. This came 2 days after Nceba Faku resigned as the ANC's regional chairperson. DA councillor in the metro, Leon de Villiers, says their redeployment would be the logical move to bring stability to the metro.
Well, if you consider the fact that there's been this ongoing infighting in the ANC, mainly between the Faku and the Wahili camp, the logical thing to do if you want to bring political stability to the area would be to redeploy both of them and bring in new people in their place.
Northern Cape Safety AMC Patrick Mabilo says stricter gun laws, particularly with private firearms, would drastically lower shooting incidents in the country. He was speaking ahead of the trial of a 16-year-old boy in the Kimberley High Court today. The accused is facing triple murder charges for the deaths of Griekverstad family, Dion Steenkamp, his wife Christelle, and their 14-year-old daughter, Mathela. Mabilo has raised an issue which is currently being debated in the US.
Our view is that having so many guns at your disposal gives the false impression to say at any time you can use them to settle scores. So we must move towards a gunless society. Too many guns in our homes is also a risk. Guns should be handled in a responsible manner.
And finally, Gauteng Economic Development MEC Kosiphendule Kolisile says the biggest decrease in the rate of unemployment in South Africa last year was recorded in Gauteng. The province's unemployment rate was at 25.4% in the second quarter of last year and currently stands at 23.7%. Kolisile says it's a noticeable downward move. He has acknowledged that unemployment remains one of the biggest challenges that Gauteng is facing.